Donk Nation, Jax and Janet's greetings and welcome to your Daily Dose Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you some nonsensical Steelers talk in the offseason. Some big breaking news going on for the Pittsburgh Steelers. No Laskers, no Gingy. Hopefully we get them back soon to talk about it as Aaron Rodgers is finally an official member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I, for one, have been all about this in the offseason. I said I think at worst this makes the team entertaining, but it brings a lot of potential, maybe high end value, maybe not a lot, a chance at a high end value quarterback if he can recoup some of the talent that we've seen throughout his career. Maybe was a little lacking last year's first year after that Achilles injury from the Jets. But I'm all here for the entertainment factor. When you look at the contract, it's only $13 million, 10 which is guaranteed incentives that can put it up to almost 20, just under $20 million. Everything about the deal seems to fit. The Steelers still, in my opinion, need to go add another offensive weapon, specifically a wide receiver to go alongside DK Metcalf out there. But a thing that shows, and we knew the Steelers weren't going to give in. And I know people want to complain, we could have got a really good draft pick. Even if Mason Rudolph was the starter, I mean, we saw Duck Hodges lead a Steelers team to 8-8. With Mike Tomlin there, the chance of bottoming out to a bottom 10 draft pick was very slim without Rodgers, or even without Rodgers, that is. Even with Rodgers, I still think, it's a really low chance the Steelers bottom out the way Tomlin is, the way this defense has so much money spent into it. They're just not going to really have a terrible go of it against bad teams. Elite teams are going to be, of course, a problem for them. But Aaron Rodgers, if he can recapture just a bit of that arm talent that we've seen in the past, has a chance to push this team to where maybe they have a chance to be competitive. So I, for one, am all for this. I enjoyed this signing. We'll get into more of the bigger breakdowns of what potentially Aaron Rodgers could do. But the biggest reason I am a fan of this, I guess I should say, is the Steelers' offense is going to get a bit modernized now. They're going to be a little more pass heavy because Aaron Rodgers is not going to play in an offense that runs the ball 60% of the time. He's not going to yes man the way Justin Fields did, the way Kenny Pickett did, the way Mitch Trubisky did, the way Mason Rudolph did. Aaron Rodgers, if he feels things aren't going the right way, he's going to go rogue. He's going to do what he wants. A lot of people felt Ben Roethlisberger did that in the past. Aaron Rodgers is the guy who has the capability of doing that. And if the Steelers add another wide receiver, this team could be a legitimate threat with a quarterback that's going to make it so a modern offense is played in Pittsburgh, as we have not really seen a modern offense since, heck, I don't even want to know, because no arm Ben really struggled with it. I'd say 2016, 2017, that range was probably the last time we saw a modern offense. If Rodgers, and we saw the arm talent last year, was still good enough, unless he fell off a cliff between last year and this year, we should see a modern offense in Pittsburgh. That's what I'm most excited about. That's what I really want to get into with Gingy and Laskers is, do we think that just Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers is enough to change this offense to where maybe it's an offense now that tries to win you a football game rather than an offense that doesn't just try to lose it? That's what I'm really hoping for. That's what I'm excited to see. That's what I'm expecting to see. And if I don't get to see that, let's be honest here, I am going to be quite a bit disappointed as, man, if we're going to get the circus is going to come to town. Let's at least get the good with the bad. We want the cool stuff along with the stuff that kind of makes you go, or whatever sound you want to make when you see bearded lady type of stuff, Man, I, for one, am excited about it. No real other news. If you're a UFL fan, I finally watched a couple games. They were a little bit entertaining. There are some good plays being made out there. Championship is going to be next week. I entice people to go tune into that if you're really ain't got much else to do on the Father's Day weekend on a Saturday night, and then you can tune in and watch yourselves a little golf being played. in the Pennsylvania. You got to have a little fun with the weekend. So, a couple things for everyone to look forward to. As for other stuff going on, not much. Roger signing before minicamp, I guess, was kind of kudos, as that's what the Steelers wanted. So he is kind of playing a nicety. Anyone who wants to be butthurt because they feel like Rodgers really strung this along, really, you would have been butthurt if he skipped OTAs after he signed more than not signing till after OTAs. There's just a bunch of whole non-stories to me the whole offseason of who cares, who really like. Personally, I was waiting for him to wait till the preseason started to sign, so it is what it is. We have the entertainment now here. If you want off the bus now, that's fine. You want out the door now, that's fine. You want to be that guy who burns your autographed Minka Fitzpatrick jersey because you're upset at a player your team signed, that's fine. You all are entitled to your opinions. I think it's crazy. Look at the Steelers in or the players in the Steelers past, just recent seasons. We bring back a guy like Cam Sutton. Y'all don't seem to have a big problem with that. But it's a guy like Aaron Rodgers who's really never done anything that I know of that's overly crazy. Does he have some views that people won't agree with? Of course. Does he have views I don't agree with? Of course. But at the end of the day, the dude's been a professional. The dude's been a football player. And I personally feel like a lot of the hate here is a lot of people view Aaron Rodgers as a guy who doesn't give 110% to football and is still so elite with what he's able to do in a very exclusive club of quarterbacks who've won a Super Bowl. And I think a lot of people just really hate on him for that. And they feel like, man, if I had his talent, I'd be so much more successful. And then they're just looking for reasons to hate on him. I mean, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Aaron Rodgers, but to say, I'm going to denounce my football team because they signed him, I think is a little overboard, a little crazy. But hey, y'all do you. You got to do what makes you happy because at the end of the day, the only person you have to see in the mirror is yourself. So go ahead, do what makes you happy. I think being a little overboard, but it is what it is. I'm excited. The Steelers should be entertaining for the first time in a long time, and I personally am looking forward to that. All the Steelers news I have, not much other news going on elsewhere either, as it's this kind of the second lull in the offseason. You get the one before the draft, then you have the draft happen, OTAs, then a little lull before mini camps and preseason starts. But we still got some rankings to do. This week we'll go ahead and talk best Steelers offensive guards of all time. Uh, I guess we'll start with the didn't quite make the list. And to me, those are guys like Ramon Foster's one that comes to mind for me. Those that type of level. I think Ramon Foster's the top of that generation of them. You also got guys like Craig Wolfley. There's some good offensive linemen who aren't going to make the top three here in this one. And then I have a tie at third. I don't know if you're more of a Sam Davis or Jerry Mullins fan, but guys who are starters for 4 Super Bowl wins have to make a list like this. Huge parts of the offensive line being together, having that glue all working together with Webster. Huge, big, influential middle. So those two guys definitely make the list at number 3. I think slightly above them, I put the next guy. That's David DeCastro, just due to the all pros he had, more so than the Pro Bowls, because people know I don't like Pro Bowls, but all pros, and at one point, definitely one of the top guards in football for a 4 or 5 year period. I think he deserves that, had a good longevity career, could have brought home a couple rings. Maybe things are a little, different for him. But then to me, the gold standard of offensive guards for the Pittsburgh Steelers has to be the guy with the gold jacket, right? Alan Faneca has to be that man who comes in at number 1 for, being the best offensive guard to wear the black and gold. Hall of Famer, just great career, just steadfast, solid. Back when the Steelers were, well, we still are, back when the Steelers were ultimately the successful running team, guys like him just, part of the reason running backs like Jerome Bettis got to get as far as they did, because the running backs don't do it without a great line. And a great line, you know, You need everywhere. You need the guards, the tackles, the center. Danica was a Hall of Fame member of a great group that did it phenomenally. So there's our list for this week. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if there's any guards that I just omitted and I couldn't think of. If you have a favorite you want to put in there, feel absolutely free to do that because, hey, that's what it's about. It's about having a great time, making our list, and being able to friendly debate if you don't feel the same. Now I guess it's time to walk into a shout out, and I'm not really sure where to go with a shout out this week. I mean, nothing really crazy going on. Aaron Rodgers coming in. What should we do for a shout out? You know what? I got it. It's a little late in the year, but let's go ahead and just shout out the Pittsburgh Pirates for, you know, they finally won 3 games in a row, and it was a sweep at home of the Philadelphia Phillies, all in one run games. Kind of fun to see. I'll give my shout out there. I liked watching it. It was enjoyable. It was fun. It was just, beating Philly, no matter what team it is always good. And I guess we'll give a part 2 shout out. Indiana Pacers making the NBA Finals. Been a Pacers fan since I can remember. Reggie Miller was the man. That's the reason why. Loved watching the teams do well on our test. You want to go Victor Oladipo leading them. Really crazy to think of all those. How Paul George got traded from the Pacers and the OKC Thunder and made both those championship teams. So shout out to the Pacers, no matter how it goes. Tyrese Halliburton with that game 1 winner was amazing. And unfortunately, they just lost game 2. But love seeing my Pacers in the finals. It's awesome to see. Hope they do great. If they don't, still a fantastic season for them. They got me to watch my first couple basketball games since, COVID. I just refuse to watch basketball. I don't like the fact that good defensive teams give up 100 points a game. Not a big fan of the way basketball's played now, but have to admit, Pacers in the finals, the thing to get me back to watching NBA basketball. Now I gotta let you know I'm the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose of Donkey with Ginger is the awesome YouTube channel where you get this sweet content. Be sure to tune in when we get Gingy and Laskers back because I know the Aaron Rodgers talk is going to be fun. I don't think it's going to be as off the rails as we've gone in some things. The contract not being crazy makes it a little more palatable for the fans who are kind of torn on whether or not he should come or go. But be sure leave us your comments so we can talk about how you feel about Aaron Rodgers if that's something that really affects you. If you think it's a non-issue, if you think he even changes the team's chances in the slightest, or if it's just meh, whatever, we don't care type of stuff. But Donk Nation, Steelers Nation, love y'all. Wave them if you got them. Here we go.